The Buffalo Sabres are up 3-1 on the Bruins on the brink of winning their first playoff series since 2007, 19 straight years of tribulations, but after beating Boston 6-1 on the road, Sabres hockey has never been more back. The loudest barn in the world, Key-Bump Arena's placed right in the heart of the drunkest city in North America, Buffalo, New York, punching out boxing dummies with the Blade Gang and the most electric atmosphere in sports, has all been on the forefront of a magical season for the Sabres. And yet, 4 months ago, this team was 30th in the NHL. They already fired their GM this year. They burned their jerseys. They were staring down a 15-year playoff drought. Today, they have the third best odds of winning the Stanley Cup of any team in hockey with the same roster, coach, and jerseys. So how did everything turn around so quickly? Well, do you believe in miracles? Because I definitely did not when the Sabres first started winning. Back on December 8th, 2025, Buffalo fired their GM, saying this management just cannot get it done. Immediately after, as in the next day onwards, the Sabres rattled off 10 wins in a row, setting a franchise record. This insane winning streak was on the back of a great team rush offense. It's pretty simple when you think about it. The Sabres have the best skating group of defensemen in the world. Give them the green light and they're going to help you score off the rush. Like off a broken play, everyone's kind of resetting and finding their man. Washington doesn't realize, but they're already above the play because Samuelson's found a gap down the right wall. It's a perfect target for a pass, and now Buffalo's got speed entering the zone. Around this point of the season, a lot of Buffalo's rush chances looked like this, where a defenseman was a passing option and they were scoring off the rush. That's why there's 3 Buffalo defensemen in the top 15 in individual expected goals this year. Buffalo uses their defensemen more than any other team in the sport. They're always jumping up into the rush, especially just ripping up the weak side. They're the best in the league at this type of offense. And honestly, this is actually pretty radical shit. You don't see defensemen being the number 1 guy out of the zone ever. This style of play was felt right away after firing Kevin Adams. Their leading goal scorers were the fastest players and the minute-eating defensemen who can make a great stretch pass. Names like Tage Thompson, Alex Tuch, Ryan McLeod, they all played amazing hockey and they scored a ton of points off the rush. But before Buffalo fired Kevin Adams, they actually had decent underlying defensive numbers. They just couldn't buy a goal or a save. After Adams was fired, they said, fuck it, they took the leashes off the defensemen and they went full fire wagon hockey. It worked, but it turned every single game into a coin toss. That's because when you're all in on rush offense, you live and die by the shooting percentage and the save percentage. Are you scoring your chances? Is your goalie making the right saves? This brand of hockey, bring the defenseman into every play, meant that the Sabres were giving up a lot the other way. Back in December and January, for every breakaway chance that they got, they gave their own goalie a little bit of a prayer to save. But in this stretch, the 10-game winning streak, Sabres goalies, Alex Lyon and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, they were massive. They were the best goalies in the world for about 1.5 months. This saved the season for the Sabres. They scored a fuck ton of goals and their goalies were elite every single night. The Sabres won an obscene amount of games despite arguably getting outplayed. At this point, they were just playing off vibes, all the way to the Olympic break when they were actually sitting in a playoff spot. But you can't just play off vibes all year. You do need at some point a consistent offense, especially in the playoffs when rush offense is the first type that dries up. Matching up against the Boston Bruins, a well-coached, sturdy veteran team that plays a conservative game, Boston knows they can't out-talent you, so they're going to have to slow you down. So then why the hell is the run-and-gun Buffalo Sabres putting 6 straight goals on the Boston Bruins and putting them in a chokehold? It's because the Sabres just aren't a rush team anymore. They're using that style as a mask to cover up the fact that they are a piece of shit scrappers who will drag you into the mud every single night. Don't be mistaken, the rush offense is still there. Fast forwards, great shooters, defensemen who push the tempo all the time, but that's only part of it. Since the Olympics, the Sabres learned how to parlay these rush opportunities into sustained offensive pressure. Easily the most important part of Buffalo's game this playoffs has been their forechecking game. They lead the playoffs in goals off of turnovers against a team that's playing a conservative style of play. That's more impressive than it even looks on paper. Buffalo's squeezing scoring opportunities out of nothing. And it's not just the big names like Josh Doan and Zach Benson. They're 2 guys who've made a name for themselves this playoffs as play-extending pricks, play like they have a switch in their shin guards. Both of them are analytical dogs with a similar style of forecheck who get involved any way possible. These guys are the perfect teammates, and they've both come into their own this season at the same time for Buffalo. But the depth gets deeper because in the bottom 6, the Sabres also have Osland, Malenstein, Krebs, heat-seeking missiles who can make a play. That's nearly half of their forward core who are just nightmares to play against. You have one of these guys on every single line, and it's allowed Buffalo to become a forechecking heavy team. They play a 2-1-2 in the offensive zone because they know how good they are along the boards. They retrieve the puck about as much as anyone. But the defensemen haven't gone anywhere, and in the offensive zone, they can make the offense just overwhelming. Switching between the 2-1-2 down low and a 2-3 high while defensemen cycle behind the net, all of a sudden Zach Benson spawns in out of nowhere, he's touching your face. It's just not fun. Just watch how confusing it can get when Buffalo's in full flight. It's unreal movement from the Sabres. They get 4 skaters high and a defenseman jumps down the wall, which forces Boston to collapse right into the middle. And just look how much open ice was created from off-puck movement alone. Going low to high to low to high to low to high. It's fucked. Buffalo is just so effective at moving the puck in the offensive zone, and when they do turn it over, Josh Dolan usually just takes it back. It's like when your older brother pumps you in shell. It's like, okay, bro, you're using Team Kazakhstan. I haven't touched the puck since the first period. Buffalo is 3rd in the NHL in offensive zone time this postseason behind Carolina and Vegas, 2 of the most veteran, experienced, playoff-ready teams in the NHL. And that's basically entirely because of the forechecking play extenders up and down the Sabres lineup. Buffalo switching between creative plays high in the zone and greasy plays low in the zone is how they cracked through in Game 1 of the playoffs. Tajer said, "Get rid of the rush shit, let's just get greasy." All of Buffalo's goals in Game 1 were from plays from below the goal line. That's a ball buster for Boston, who already maybe isn't the most talented team. If they're getting outworked, they just can't do anything. Now, speaking of Thompson, he's one of the best finishers in hockey. Between him and Alex Tuch, Buffalo has had the scoring talent throughout this decade. They could bury a chance anytime they got it, but the problem was Buffalo just could not create sustained pressure. Thompson works best as an F3, or behind the play. He's got one of the hardest shots, some of the best hands of anyone, and he's 6'6". But his playstyle is why the best offensive line he played on all season was with Krebs and Doan. 2 guys who are more pass first and 2 guys who work really well along the boards. It works even better than when he got minutes alongside another pure first liner in Tuch. In a 2-on-2, Thompson's in the middle of the ice finding these spots and putting up 40 goals. In a 2-3, Thompson's running downhill and snapping it bar down, fuck you. Cracking this code in Buffalo was the final piece of the puzzle. It's just putting the right guys in the right spots. Now, all of this offensive zone time would be worth nada if they cannot stop the other team's superstars the other way. David Pastrnak is a top 10 player in the world, and on any given night, he can take over a game on his own. Morgan Geekie, when he gets about 5 feet of open ice, he can score a goal from anywhere. That's why the defensemen are going to need to be huge for Buffalo. Not just in round 1, but as the playoffs go on. Owen Power has a chance to prove that his 6'6" frame isn't just for good looks in the Tinder bio. He doesn't have to lay guys out to be a force. He needs to control play and use his frame to separate the puck from the forecheckers. Along the wall, he needs to just be a nightmare. So far, on a line with Bowen Byram, he's been matched primarily against the Pastrnak line, and at 5v5, Power Byram is winning those minutes. Overall, the Bruins are dead last in rush chances this playoffs. Compare that to where Buffalo was in December, where they were giving everything up the other way. And it's clear that this is a brand new team playing for something new. The Sabres are playing for the crest. Boston has some elite goaltending. They've been perfect on the penalty kill so far, and they're due to have another great game on the power play, but Buffalo's up 3-1. They're running court in this series. Motion is lotion. The Sabres have Diddy oil on the bench and Gorilla Glue on their tape. They are just too overwhelming. If their special teams wake up and match their even strength dominance, they could absolutely be lifting the Stanley Cup in June. Yeah, they are that good. If you don't think they're good enough to win the cup, please let me know below. If you do think they're good enough to win the cup, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.